Hi everyone, it's Jen and you're watching The Screening Lady. Okay, so we are going towards the end of November right now. It's like the penultimate episode of 2020. Let's just hope there's no more plot twists, please. But, it also means that we are about less than 40 days away from Christmas. And to Netflix, this means that they are starting to roll out their Christmas specials one after the other. Whether or not we remember them after the 26th or the 27th, it's entirely up to us. But if you take a look at their strategy, I think that they really want to do, when they release the first Christmas specials, they're gonna do like a part 2 or a part 3, whether or not they're successful. I don't know, we never see the numbers anyway, so they're just gonna keep doing it too. But for this video, I want to talk about a new one, which is like the first installment. I hope it's just a standalone film because I really think it's just so charming the way it is. But what we're going to be talking about is Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey, written and directed by David Talbert. It's supposed to be like this Christmas musical, fantasy, magical film, and I am really it just looks so amazing. The set pieces look so gorgeous, the costumes, all the dancing, all the singing too. And to people, I think they're going to be reminded of The Greatest Showman. They're gonna say that it looks like Willy Wonka, but to me personally, especially towards the end of the movie, it reminded me of Hook. And if I'm talking, I know that this film is entirely on its own and it is a standalone film, which is great by itself. But when I say that it reminds me of Hook in a way, connecting it to the other movie, it doesn't mean like it's a second kind of a bigger film, but I'm just saying this movie made me remember all the good stuff I was watching when I was a kid. It's definitely not without its flaws, though. There was a couple of moments in the second act where I feel like I really just wanted to hurry along. But overall, this is a fun one. I think it's like a holiday steampunk movie with pretty good soundtrack. If you like how I'm rambling right now, please like and subscribe to this channel, and we're gonna be talking about Jingle Jangle. So as with any other Christmas movies, I had my expectations set to low. So let's just be honest for a second. Well, at least for me, I've never really seen any Christmas movies recently that turn into an instant classic. It's also a sign of the times. I think it's okay. It's very different from what I was used to, but you can see it for yourself. Number one, there's just so many streaming channels. There's just so many streaming platforms. And for us, we have the demand that we have the need to basically keep wanting content very regularly, and we want a lot of choices. So that's what we're getting. If it wasn't for the pandemic, we'd probably have our Christmas movies now, and nothing really lasts in the Christmas air. We would probably have Christmas blockbusters, but not Christmas movies entirely. For Jingle Jangle, I really just want kids to have their new favorite Christmas movie. For sure, when they're watching right now, it's gonna mean something to them already. But after 10 or 15 years, when they watch it again, it's gonna mean entirely different. It's gonna be a new message, I suppose. It's a new meaning to them. And that's what I like about this movie. Whether you're an adult or you're a kid, basically, it has different meanings for you. On the surface, Jingle Jangle is a story about the rise and fall and rise again of Jeronicus Jangle, the greatest inventor of all and owner of Jangle and Things, which is like a toy store set in, it's like an alternate 18th century Edwardian but American. I don't even know where we are. It's a magical world, and the toy store looks so awesome. Basically, the demise of Jeronicus Jangle is brought about by his apprentice Gustafsson, who is very impatient. I guess if he just waited for 30 minutes, we probably would have had a much shorter film. But anyways, Gustafsson steals Jangle's book of ideas or book of toy designs, basically, and it's what he uses to make his own toy store, and he just gets successful year after year stealing these toy ideas from Jangle, and eventually he becomes like this big toy corporation, and Jangle, his business is dwarfed by it, and so it's just a series of unfortunate events that happens after. Shortly, his wife passes away. he decides that he has to send his daughter away too because it's just better, basically. And what's I think for this film, what hurts the most is that he has lost his magical touch when it comes to inventing things. So he never replicates the success that he's had, and the toy store turns into a pawnbroker. He just fixes things now, and you'll see definitely the change in like the cinematography from being very vivid and colorful to just very bleak and sad, basically. You know, by some magical scheduling or magical coincidence, 30 years later, a couple of things happen or are needed to keep the story going. Number one, Gustafson has run out of ideas. He tried making his own toy design, but it never happened, so he needs to steal from Jangle again. In that same time, Jangle reconnects with his granddaughter now, called Journey. Yeah, Journey's name is so awesome. I like that. And she takes after her grandfather as well. They both have like this magical mathematical mutterings that, to be honest, maybe was just used once. It looks cool. I wish we could have seen more of it. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. And so Gustafson needs a new toy. Journey's reconnected with her grandfather, Veronicus Jangle, and another crucial schedule, I suppose, is that on that Christmas day, Jangle needs to pay off a loan that he applied for at a bank. Okay, so the story unfolds. We get a really great first half. We get a kind of imbalanced second half, especially when there was a sequence where Journey and her friend need to steal back this design that is like the best one yet from Veronicus Jangle, stolen by Gustafson. They go into this big corporation. I don't know, I hardly remember that part. I really just wanted to hurry that part along. But anyways, as with any other Christmas movies, again, you know, whatever obstacle it is that's thrown to them is eventually overcome. Gustafson gets to jail for stealing the design. Journey rekindles her grandpa's belief in wonder, in magic, and that's what's really needed to get his inventions come to life, I suppose. And eventually, you know, all is well that ends well. It's a Christmas movie. We know from the start that this is going to happen, but you know, there's a couple of things that make us stay watching these films. First of all, the fuzzy feeling that we want to get. This is the only time of the year where we deserve that fuzzy feeling, or when we allow ourselves at least to feel this, you know, this warm, heartwarming movies. But at the same time, when you're watching a Christmas movie, in a way, subconsciously, you're looking for something new. And I think, personally, Jingle Jangle gave us a lot of revolutionary new stuff. First of all, I want to say steampunk for all. I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bit biased because I like steampunk, but it's just very refreshing to see this movie where steampunk, I'm usually used to seeing a certain type of group of people be in this situation, but in Jingle Jangle, it's like everyone has access, everyone has equal opportunity for steampunk. I love what it stands for and what it means. The second part, or the second thing I like about this movie, is the storytelling devices. We have a live action part of the movie, which is probably like 95% of it anyway. And then 5% goes to stop motion. And I think it's really nice how they use it when they tell like the harder parts of the movies, or basically when Veronicus Jangle was going through a lot of stuff, it was told in stop motion. And it looked really great. It looked really wonderfully done. But at the same time, you'd think they have some sort of intention where, you know, it kind of cushions the blow, especially if you're watching it as a kid. So when we talk about the live action, we have a cast of characters who are totally charming and totally can sing. Forrest Whitaker can actually sing. He's actually singing in a tone that's higher than what I would expect. But still, it's all pretty good. We have Tiana from The Princess and the Frog anyways. And what really surprised me, and that made sense afterwards, was when I got to see John Legend's name in the credits. So like, to me, I was like, of course it makes sense. That's John Legend. So even the opening sequence, the songs were really awesome, especially when Journey had to sing her own solo song. Basically, it's a kind of nice transition how we are seeing girls not sing about love song anymore. I just don't have the title in my head right now, but she sings basically about being strong at her age, not needing anything or anyone, and it's very refreshing again to see girls sing more of that, like more songs about being confident with herself instead of, I don't know, yearning for someone or for another guy. The only couple of problems that I have is that for these super powerful songs, especially the one that Journey sings, I feel like, you know, it's only as powerful if they are struggling an obstacle that's powerful as well. And what the flaw of this movie is there's just not enough struggle. I don't know, maybe I'm not a Grinch. Maybe I'm just someone who, you know, I like to see people suffer before they earn a happy Christmas. I don't know what you call me, but anyways, it's just to balance the storylines. If my characters that I love go through such great heights in terms of overcoming something, to sing a song like Journey would sing, then it would all make sense. But Journey's very strong-willed to begin with. I don't think I ever saw a weakness in that girl. Even Veronica's Jangle, when we talk of his journey, and this is the journey that we are alluding to in the title, his journey is about believing in himself again and believing in magic. And, you know, I'm saying it reminded me of Hook, because remember that sequence where Robin Williams and Rufio had to go at it like kindergarten insults or whatever battle before Robin really understood and really had to believe in Neverland. You know that scene I'm talking about, right? Like, I don't know, I didn't really quite see a struggle with Dronicus himself, except when he had to hold his breath and release it, and then understand, you know, doing the magic hands also. A couple of minor things, they're kind of small but very important to me still. One is that I really wanted them to science the shit out of the square root of impossible. They were saying so many good stuff, like the circumference of spectacular, second derivative of sensational, but when you really listen to the formula, there is no formula. The second thing, and it's kind of important also, is the whole crucial element of Christmas and how it kind of lacks in the story. There's a whole backdrop of Christmas. There's snow, there's Christmas lights, there's Christmas toys. I think there's Christmas trees also, but if you think about the story in itself, it wasn't really crucial. Just only for Mr. Downton Abbey himself, who needed that loan on Christmas Day. But apart from that, no one really says Christmas except him, basically. But I did say at the start of the video that I like this movie, and I do. I think that towards the end of the film, that's when I realized that this movie is trying to tell something to the adults, to us. That basically, everyone is gonna go through something harsh, and sometimes letting the kid out, the kid that we are hiding or suppressing, letting that out once in a while will help us, whether it's to deal with grief, or to deal with a hardship, to find inspiration in the childlike nature that we once had. Let's not forget, it wasn't just the kids who were able to fly. Journey, as a grandmother, was able to fly too. And I think it's very important to know that, you know, wonder, magic, wishes, everyone deserves that. So that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching this far. See you again.